Hi guys, so how did Boris Johnson get on at the G7? Spoilers, not very well. This was potentially a huge opportunity for Johnson to push his global Britain brand. It being just a few months after the end of the Brexit transition period, it could have been seen as a ripe moment to show how the country had expanded its horizons. The shadow Donald Trump held over Boris Johnson and his Brexiteers was thought to have lifted, but instead of making a clean break and a fresh start, a number of ridiculous mistakes over Brexit turned the whole thing into a charade. While Johnson attempted to redirect talk away from Brexit and in particular the Northern Ireland Protocol, it seems to have outmaneuvered him and took centre stage. The problems caused by Brexit were on everyone's minds as they left Cornwall. This was after the Prime Minister was given the chance to avoid talking about Brexit, and instead he put his foot in it. He used language such as his government doing whatever it takes to protect Northern Ireland's place in the UK, and he once again threatened to invoke Article 16 of the Northern Ireland Protocol. Doing so demonstrates a complete lack of understanding of the protocol and the Greater Withdrawal Agreement and peace process on the island of Ireland. As always, Johnson had two options: be quiet and avoid the controversy, or wade in and attempt to plant a flag for his Brexit-supporting followers. As I said before, Article 16 of the Protocol allows either side to take action if the implementation of the Protocol leads to serious economic, societal, or environmental difficulties. But it has a shelf life and it does not suspend the entire Protocol. At the same time, the UK government has not demonstrated how the Protocol is causing any of these issues, but instead are using the threat of invoking it as some sort of bargaining chip. When the issue of a trade war between the UK and EU was brought up, instead of dismissing it and moving on, he at first dismissed the idea and then added a qualifier. He said, and I quote, "I think it's highly unlikely." Then he said, "But if I may say so, I've talked to some of our friends here today who do seem to misunderstand that the UK is a single country and a single territory. I think they just need to get that into their heads." Is this a threat to disrupt trade because of the protocol he signed up to? There was also a rumour that President Macron of France had told the Prime Minister that Great Britain and Northern Ireland were not the same country, a comment that Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab said on Sunday he found offensive. The French president, then following the news, denied making the comment and said that UK sovereignty had always been something the EU respected. He went on to say that Brexit was the child of the UK and that the EU had spent many years trying to find solutions to suit all sides. Boris Johnson probably hoped, as host, he would act as a uniter. Following the Trump years, transatlantic trust was at rock bottom. He may have actually achieved his goal of uniting the Europeans and the US. Unfortunately for him, it is in their distrust of Boris Johnson. Apart from the smiles for the camera, this G7 achieved very little. And while the last G7 had Donald Trump as a distractor, this year it was Boris Johnson's Brexit that took centre stage. Unfortunately, huge opportunities were missed on issues such as climate change and the pandemic. The G7 could have been the place where real pledges were made to combat the impact human activity is having on the planet and on how we can work together to get more vaccines to more countries in the global south. Instead, Boris Johnson's Brexit baby threw its toys out of the pram and got the attention it craves. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?